outside the box with Em and Lex in the greenhouse,
where we chat motherhood,
plant medicine, mental health,
and whatever topic our ADHD brains bring up.
Grab your favorite strain,
favorite munchie,
and don't forget your H2O.
Maybe you'll laugh, maybe you'll learn. Heck, we might even cry.
But most importantly, we'll be authentic
and weird AF.
All right. Hey, weirdos. What's up? Welcome to the greenhouse.
Hello.
Emily, what's up? How's your day going?
Good.
We have a case of the don't want tos.
Oh, yeah. I was like, where are you going with that one? Dude, y'all, we just sat having a meeting about what to record for the last 40 minutes. We sat staring at each other.
Literally from Jungle Book, the vultures just shrugging at each other over here. Just, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
So,
high five. High five to us.
High five. Okay. We're here. Whee! Oh, we made it. We're here. We have a fun little episode for you guys today. Emily's gonna share a story with us about her son River. But let's get our episode going. What are you toking on today, Em?
I have blueberry cookies flour.
You just completely froze.
You there?
Yeah, you're there now. So I said, what are you smoking, Em?
And I said,
blueberry cookies.
It's blueberry cookies flour.
Nice. I'm doing Constellation Cannabis coffee creamer flour. So
coffee.
I have a Celsius. And
I have a Celsius too.
And a Lexible's watermelon lemonade Northern Light sucker. So, kick today's episode off. Cheers, weirdos.
Jumanji. What flavor do you have?
Green apple cherry. What flavor do you have?
Peach vibe.
Nice.
Sparkling white peach.
Sparkling green apple cherry.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of the Arizona cherry limeade. Did you ever have that? Like in the big can? Arizona.
Yes.
That's what these taste like.
Well, with vodka.
Oh, I didn't find those drinks until I quit drinking, so. But that sounds delicious. Now that you say that. We used to do Slurpees in vodka.
I'm a big cherry limeade girl.
Yes, ma'am. I wish there was a Sonic closer to me.
Oh, there's one right down the street from me, across from our airport.
Yeah, I know. Remember you dropped yours? You have it on video.
You know what, though?
That's a vivid video you need to post.
It's a vivid moment, yeah. But you know what's really nice, though? Is I had all this shit at home to make my own. So I was just like, okay, lemons out of lemonade, no pun intended. I'll just make my own. So, yeah.
All right, Emily. Well.
All right. Guys,
what are we talking about today?
I'm going to give you a little pre-warning. Potentially grab tissue.
No, just grab tissue.
I don't know if any of you guys are aware, but I have 2 boys. My oldest will be 12 in December, Grace, and then River just turned 9 in July. And River had a brain tumor removed during pandemic. So
wow, goosebumps.
I know. So the reason why I wanted to do this episode today is because, as previously mentioned, I did Rodent in Fields, and my upline in Rodent in Fields, her name is Cecily. She's actually really big on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, okay.
her name is Cecily Bachman, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'll link her down in the notes below. Sweetest soul. She is so, so, so sweet.
Wonderful.
She shared the story of the head trauma that her son had in
Oh, wow.
2019, and it really resonated with me. And obviously, I was very empathetic to her because of what we went through, and I just shared a little bit
Yeah.
of my story with her. So I thought, maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to do the same for somebody else.
Yeah, of course. That's what this is all
Because,
our podcast is about, is reaching out and being a safe place for others that have possibly gone through similar situations. So, yes.
and I didn't know. So I met her it was before her son's accident is when I joined Roden and Fields. So I didn't know any of this had happened. So when she shared it, I was like, oh my gosh, like she was like, I've met her in person. Like I've sat down and like broken bread with her. It's like, how crazy is that? So Jordan also had an old coworker whose son started experiencing similar symptoms of River. So like Jordan, so like Jordan was, there for him and that support, like gave him tools and
Wow.
tips like we had. So I figured it might be time
Yeah.
to share it with everybody. Plus I got River's permission. So
Wonderful. Well, I
yes.
can't wait to hear it.
So rewind all the way back to March of 2020 when everything shut down. Okay. Pandemic happened. Schools shut down. I was sent home to work remote for our work. And I had both kids at home with me doing schooling and working full time Monday through Friday. I had a girl that we had met through the boys' school after school program that we kind of like hijacked from the school when they closed down. And we were paying her to help us with their schooling and stuff in the morning. So shout out to
Wonderful.
Christina. She's now a huge part of our family.
Yay.
Yeah, she's a huge, huge part of our family now. So she actually lives here in Yuma with me now. Crazy small. Yeah, that's a story for another day. Anyways, so everything shuts down. Kids are in school. We have Christina I think we had her from like 9 to noon because that was my lunch break. So then I had like my hour with them to make lunch. And then after that, they were off of schooling. They could just like kind of like be at their own demise.
Be
And
at the
I was
house.
just available because I was on the computer, right? So it was only a
Were
few
you guys
hours.
still, were you still in San Diego at the time?
Yes, we were still in San
Okay, so
Diego.
2020, you're still in San Diego.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't move here until October of 21. So almost a year to the day after his major surgery is when we moved.
That's the month I kicked my ex out.
Like October's a big month for us. And you
It's a big month
too.
for a lot of things. For me too.
It's a big month for a lot of people. Holy cow. Ooh, I just got goosebumps on my legs. That was really weird.
Ooh.
That was weird. Oh man. Okay.
All right.
So I will tell you guys also at this point, I was also still smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I was still smoking cigarettes at this point. So I'm outside on a break. I'm sitting outside smoking a cigarette and out in the backyard. And River's outside with me. He's just like running around, messing around with the dogs, while I'm just out there on my break. And all of a sudden, he crouches down in front of me and he starts going like this. And he looks up and he froze. And I was like, what is going on? And he stood up really slow and I started filming him. I was like, what? So I started filming him really quickly. And because I happened to be scrolling, and he
Right.
goes, Mommy, the sky is falling. I'm like, what? He goes, Mommy, the sky is falling. And he like stands up really slowly. And I'm like, okay, that was really weird. So keeping an eye on him. A couple minutes go by and I see it happen again. He crouches down really slow and he like froze. And I went over to him and I'm like, River. And like Nothing.
Nothing.
Like nothing.
Hmm.
And I'm like thinking like he's just zoning out. No, like not even cracking a smile, like not even zoning, like gone, like nothing, nobody's home. So I called Jordan and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I think River just had a seizure. I need to take him to the emergency room. And he goes, why do you think that? Reminder, my husband's a firefighter. And he goes, why do you think that? And I said, well, I went to elementary school with a girl who used to have absent seizures. She would be playing on the playground, fine, fine, fine. And then all of a sudden she would just stop. And then
And
she
zone
kind of
out
zone out
and
and she'd
not
be
be
fine.
there.
We learned they were a type of seizure. I always thought the only type of seizures were grand mal seizures, like the full shaking,
Full-on
foaming, like
convulsions.
convulsions.
Mm-hmm.
They are absent seizures as well. So I knew what
Oh,
they looked like. Thank you, God. I knew what they looked like. So I was
you
like,
were given an experience in your past that gave you the knowledge, and you cataloged that. You put it in your filing cabinet for a reason.
ADHD filing cabinet.
Here you are 25 years later and needing that information.
No kidding. So Jordan, I bring, let's see, Christina. I think Christina came back. Christina came back to the house, stayed with Race, and I took River
Mm-hmm.
down to the emergency room. And
Okay.
Jordan was going to meet me there, and I said, it's COVID. No one, it's only going to be one
Mm.
parent, anyways. Don't leave work yet. Please don't leave
Yeah.
work yet. There's no reason for you to. Christina's with Race. He's fine. I'm with River. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're only going to let one parent in, anyways. Get him down. I told them what had happened, showed them the video, told him, I went to school, blah, 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 with this girl, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
No tests. They kind of give him like a once over and they give me a prescription for an EpiPen and they sent us on our way.
Shut up.
I came in with my 6-year-old and told them I thought he had a seizure and they did nothing, gave me an
Nothing. I hate.
EpiPen and sent me on my way. And I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, it's COVID, pandemic, limited resources. Like you had to schedule out testing because you had to get a COVID test first before you got any tests done. So like any MRIs, EKGs, like anything, it was 72 hours before, get a COVID test, then you were okayed for it. So like, even if like,
Because the rapid didn't exist or any of that stuff yet.
but my
It was
question, but
so
like
new.
my concern was if that was the case, why didn't they send us to Children's Hospital? Like Children's Hospital was
Yeah,
not
go to
far.
Children's Hospital
Like,
immediately.
yeah, like why would they? Anyway, so that what happened on the 2nd of July. Okay. So the next day, they scheduled an EEG for the 13th. Okay. So 10 days out from the first seizure, they scheduled an EEG.
12 days, yeah.
So
12
again,
days.
had to go through the, COVID test 3 days out beforehand to make sure he was good and then do the whole thing. On that second day, on that 3rd of July, he started having 3 to 7 seizures a day,
Oh my gosh.
lasting as long as 30 seconds to a minute.
And this is the middle of summer.
Mm-hmm. They scheduled the EEG for the 13th and they scheduled an MRI for the 21st. We called every single day to see if we could get rescheduled to get that MRI sooner, and they eventually rescheduled it to the 14th. So EEG was on the 13th, MRI was going to be the 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So the night before his EEG on the 12th, you guys prepare yourselves, okay? River needed to be sleep deprived for the EEG to get the best results. So we couldn't let him sleep any longer than 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. So we had to
You had
keep
to keep them
him
awake.
awake until midnight and then only let him sleep 4 hours and then keep him up the entire way to go and get his testing done. He's 6, guys. 6. Okay.
Poor child.
During that time of us keeping him awake, we were told to videotape all of his seizures that he had. I can't tell you how awful it is as a parent when your child is in distress to pull out a camera.
Oh,
but I had to for documentation. I needed to be able to show them what was going on. So at about 10 o'clock, he had the worst seizure he has had yet. And it lasted like a good 3 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And we were...
Was it completely just like moving? What
It was
it?
worse than the other ones. So we were laying down playing memory, like the card game.
Okay.
And he went completely stiff and he started like drooling and his eyes dilated and he was like gasping. And it was the hardest thing because all we could do was just let him ride it out.
Wow.
And I was recording and Jordan was just comforting him as it happened, right?
Oh.
So he had 3 more seizures in his sleep that night. Like we slept with him and he had 3 more seizures that night, the same way.
Oh.
Yeah. So the next morning, the 13th, he had his EEG and not long into the test, he had another bad episode, but it was worse. And it lasted so long that they had to take him by ambulance to Children's Hospital to be admitted and be observed.
Oh my God.
So him and Jordan were taken to Children's and put on observation. He was kept there until the next day. So the 14th, he had his MRI done and he had to be sedated. So that was really hard.
Yeah.
It took him a long time to wake up afterwards and he had a really bad reaction to the sedation. Like he was just like super angry, like just not our River. And after neurology and everybody reviewed the MRI, they found a pea-sized tumor on the center frontal lobe of his brain. He was sent home that night and they started giving him this medication called Keppra. It's known...
They sent him home?
Because there was really nothing they could do at that point, you know? So he got sent home and we were put on Keppra, which was supposed to help stop the seizures, right? Anybody who has had someone in their life who has seizures, I'm sure recognizes that name. I guess in males, it's known to cause aggression. It made River like an animal, like a feral animal. Like it got so bad to where he was like beating the crap out of Race, and Race was locking himself in the dog kennel, holding the door shut so River couldn't get to him. It was scary. And it was awful for him too, because he doesn't know what's going on.
He wasn't in control of himself at all.
So we documented every single day, like what was going on every day since the first seizure. Like we started documenting everything. If we missed giving him his meds in the morning, like by like an hour, like he was seizing, like he was having seizures throughout the day. Like it was bad. So a couple days after he leaves from his MRI, we had a follow-up with neurology. He was still having some breakthrough seizures, so they upped his medication. So that
sounds right.
Yeah, but they told us at that time that the tumor wasn't like super deep in his brain, so it wasn't like stem related. But they were looking at a ganglioglioma. I'm sorry. At first they told us it was a glioblastoma, which is like 0 survival rate. It's like the worst cancerous brain tumor. Like it's terrible. But they ended up telling us that it looked like it was just a low-grade tumor. It was rare, but it was low grade. They weren't sure if it was cancerous, but they would be able to tell once they took it out. So we just kept on the medication and just were told to monitor it. Just monitor. So we're still having breakthrough seizures every once in a while. They told us just as long as they weren't getting super, super bad to just keep an eye on them, like just try and keep them chill, that kind of thing. 6 years old.
Okay. Like, why have they not suggested surgery yet?
Yeah.
Well, I'm confused. They're just pumping this little tiny body full of meds for no reason when if it's surgical, just take it out.
So at that point, I took matters into my own hands and I started giving him CBD gummies.
I fucking love you, Emily.
I started giving him CBD gummies and he would fall asleep and he wasn't having seizures. So I just kind of did that for a minute until they stopped working. So
his body got used to him.
He, up until this point, he hadn't ever had a seizure while he was doing something. Like he wasn't like riding his bike and would have a seizure or like running and have a seizure. Yeah, he was like sitting down or like playing or like walking in the kitchen, like stuff like that. So there was one day he ended up having another pretty bad seizure while he was on his iPad.
Oh, okay.
And then we went to the beach and he had one in the water. And that's when it got really scary. That's when it started to get like crazy gnarly. I started getting a lot of emotions. Jordan at this time was having a lot of emotions. Like we were trying to keep each other in check, trying to keep Race's emotions in check. Like we were all just kind of spinning around River. And
yeah, because at this point, none of you know how to navigate this type of situation.
We had never been through this before. Like we just kind of had to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. He was having seizures on the medication. He was having seizures every single day. Like it didn't matter how much medication he was on. Like he was having seizures.
His body was still fighting it.
Mm-hmm. Like it just didn't. They didn't want anything to do with it. End of July was his birthday. They were getting less, like maybe every other day. He wasn't having a whole lot of seizures, but we went beach camping and we gave him some more CBD because I wanted to be careful because I didn't want him being in the water again and having something happen.
Yeah, of course.
But with his seizures, he was also having like outbreaks and aggression and like kicking and screaming and like fighting with us, like fighting with people around us. Like there was no, like he was a completely different person.
Of course. Sounds like it. Well, the medication was making him a different person, and then that tumor was trying to overpower it and control it too. Oh, poor buddy.
So
brain.
End of July, he had a seizure while he was riding his bike and his face and shoulder caught his fall on the asphalt. He had a helmet on, but he messed himself up pretty good.
Oh, buddy.
They then took him off the Keppra and started him on triliptine, which was another kind of anti-seizure medication. And that seemed to help for a little while.
That is insane that his little 6-year-old body, no matter what you guys were giving him, was still fighting it and overriding. Oh, how exhausting.
Yep.
For everyone. I mean, I'm sorry. And then, so this is what time frame? Are you guys in August?
We are now like ending July, like July into August is when it just was doctor's phone calls for check-ins, like just monitoring his seizures, making sure his medicine was okay. But at the point of all, like at the beginning of all of this, what was frustrating was they never went into this as like looking at it as treating a tumor. They were always treating the seizures.
Oh.
So,
See, and I keep thinking the tumor's causing all of these seizures. So why do they keep just loading him up on all these meds for the seizures, and why have they not just taken the tumor out?
yep. So by end of July, they finally had concluded that we were now looking not at a tumor removal surgery, but we were looking at a seizure surgery. So he had to have 2 failed medications for seizures before they even considered cutting open into his head.
Let's pump him full of 2 different medical medications and then have those failed. Then we'll suggest surgery.
Because I
Why?
guess by the 2 medications being failed, he bypasses an in-hospital authorization to get the surgery. So
Okay.
he would have had to stay at a hospital for a week. So end of July, our team of doctors start to put together a plan of how they're going to approach this surgery and remove the tumor.
Okay.
We are still just monitoring. We are literally just monitoring, keeping an eye on things, still in a pandemic. Not to mention, just right before all of this happened in June, we all had COVID. So we were terrified that he was going to get COVID
Oh
with all
shoot.
of this
On top of
on
this.
top of it.
Oh my gosh.
Not to mention, about this time, because it was just a waiting pandemic, not going out, not seeing anybody. I just had my birthday like secluded because we had COVID. Emily went into full meltdown mode.
Oh, I would have been right there with you.
Like,
You guys have been hit over and over and
oh
over
yeah, like
all summer.
hearing voices in my head beach camping telling me to jump off the cliffs.
Oh, babe.
Like it was like
Those intrusive thoughts.
screaming on the beach at the top of my lungs at God, like cursing him. Like, why did you fucking do this to him? Why didn't you give this to me? Like, what the fuck? And then, of course, your mind as a mom, I didn't think I was going to cry. And then your mind goes to, as a
Sorry about
mom,
me. I'm trying not to.
like in my head, I'm like, what the fuck did I do while I was pregnant that could have done this?
No,
Oh,
babe.
I was so mad at myself because I just wanted to blame someone. I wanted to blame someone. Like, I didn't want it to just be like, oh,
Yeah.
shit happens. I wanted to be mad at someone. It
Yeah.
was
Very,
awful.
very valid.
And
Very valid.
I thank Jordan so much because you hear the awful stories of like parents going through shit like this with their kids with cancer and like going through all this and like it ruins their marriage. Thank God for that man, or else I don't think either of us would have made it through. Like the 2 of us at one point, like I looked at him and I got so mad at him. I was like, you need to get mad with me. Get fucking mad with me. And he goes, I can't get mad with you because then I get angry and I want to do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so hard to hear him fucking say that. It was so hard to hear him say that. But at that moment, like, we got so close and it just became so raw that we had nothing to do but lean on each other.
Oh, 100%. Like, and look at how much stronger you guys are, even more than you were then.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. No, side note, we were in marriage counseling before COVID. So we were still going through counseling too through all of this. So
That's
they, again, our
amazing.
marriage counselor, I know Jordan has said it. Thank you so much to him. He has really helped us and he helped us out a lot through this whole thing, like keeping us together as a team. Oof. Holy cow.
It's amazing that instead of turning against each other and the problem, it was you guys versus the world, and you guys linked up and became stronger and tighter,
Yep.
which is what River needed in that moment. in that time.
And not to mention, like, Race, like, God bless his little soul. I mean, he was so worried about River, but always just keeping such a good attitude, like, being so positive, like, worried about River, and just, like, you know, just wanting the best and trying to help as much as he could, because we were just joking about this the other night. Race never gets sick. We all got COVID. Race never got it. We all get deathly ill, and Race is just like, deuces, I'm going to school. We're like dying in our rooms. Like, the kid is, I swear, he's immune to everything.
So they're finally getting a plan to finally remove it.
Yeah, and it took a long time. It took a long time for them to, like, get their shit together and get it figured out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But the meltdowns were still happening. We were still dealing with, trying to keep in contact with our doctors, trying to make sure that we were getting, MRIs done, because they needed to make sure that the tumor wasn't growing, because they needed to know how to remove it, if it was growing, how rapidly it was growing. Like, they had no idea where it came from. Like, they didn't know. Like, how do you know how a tumor happens? Like, we've never had an MRI done for him before.
Yeah, it's not like they just get them at birth.
No. So,
okay, let's check and make sure their brains maybe they should start doing that.
well, I won't lie to you. It made me want to get Race done as well, just to double check.
Yeah.
So,
why not?
Yeah. So, had another MRI done like mid-August.
Okay.
And they said it was a non-aggressive tumor. They used a special dye. They said there was no swelling on the MRI, and they were pretty positive it was benign. So, slow growing. It was deep but not big, but it was hard to find, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to remove. And it may require a little bit extra surgery time depending on how big it was.
Yeah, because they could only see so much depth to it, probably.
But they said he had a 10 to 30% chance of seizures being eliminated afterwards.
Well, that's still a chance.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So you're saying, yeah. So, morning of October 6th, I believe it was.
Okay.
Jordan and River drove to Los Angeles, and River had his tumor removed.
Whoa.
Took roughly, I think he had said it took roughly 6 hours.
Wow.
And they were able to get all of it, but they were worried because where the tumor sat once they went in, it rested up against his corticospinal tract, which is the main nerve that controls all of your motor functions.
Oh, that's nice.
Walking, your hands, movement, like talking. So they had to be extremely careful removing it, not to clip that nerve.
Yeah.
So, COVID again. One parent allowed.
Ugh.
I'm home with Race, and he comes out of surgery. They were able to get it all. No cancer detected in it.
That's wonderful.
And he had to stay in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days, and then he could go home.
Cool.
By the end of that day he went in for surgery, he was calling me hysterically crying, wanting me to be there.
Oh, buddy.
He wanted to get out of bed. He wanted to walk around. Like, he wanted to play. He didn't want to be confined to a bed with all these bandages and stuff all over him. So what does mom do? She goes to her baby.
Of course you did.
My mom took Race, and my mother-in-law drove me to LA. which
Oh,
is at that time it was like 2.5 hours.
yeah.
Funny enough, outside of our hospital room was one of the Scientology buildings. Yeah, it was really cool. So,
That's pretty cool.
so I went down to or up to LA and spent a night in the hospital, and we got to go home the next day. So he was there for a total of 3 days. And by the
Nice.
time I got there, I got to do his first lap on the hospital floor with him. So 24 hours after having brain surgery, he was walking. So
That's amazing.
hands down, I mean, applause to the doctors at Kaiser. I know that there are a lot of mixed emotions and reviews on Kaiser. My mental health and River's neurology and everything, like, we couldn't have asked for a better team of doctors from start to finish. Other than the doctor at the emergency room who just like sent us on our way, we could
Yeah,
not have had a better team of doctors.
that's amazing.
And what's even
No
crazier,
wonder he feels no wonder he feels invincible because he was up 24 hours after major brain surgery. Like, no wonder he thinks that he walks on water and can overcome anything.
yeah.
The confidence that kid has.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is when he was getting treated in San Diego for his tumor before he got it removed, he was at a children's hospital, and one
Hmm.
of the doctors on his team in San Diego was my mom's neighbor across the street who we grew up with.
Oh my gosh.
So like he's seen all, like he got to put his hands into the planning of like removing River's brain, like brain tumor.
That is so
Yeah.
crazy.
So we love him.
What's up, universe?
Yeah.
We see you. Okay.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
he came home
How
6 weeks later. He was back online for school, and we've been struggling since then. I mean,
yeah.
obviously pandemic did it,
Well, the pandemic set a lot of kids back.
but then having this and then the time off and then having to do with his
Hmm.
brain, like that set us back a little bit
Oh
too.
yeah. Well, and then they pumped him full of medication for a month and a half, and what that did to him too. Like, I mean, he is an amazing kid. He's
Yeah.
creative and silly and gives zero fucks about what anyone else cares.
No.
Like, he is himself and he's not
Unapologetic.
gonna change.
Yeah, he actually had to stay on that medication for a whole year after his surgery to make sure he wasn't having any more seizures. And I will tell you,
Oh
from the
wow.
day they removed his tumor, he has not had a seizure since.
Since the tumor's been
Not
removed, no seizures.
one.
That's amazing. So they should have just done that in the first place.
Yeah, which I mean, I understand. And pandemic, I'm sure, slowed things
I
down
understand the
too.
hoops, but it's still like whatever.
Yeah. So,
That's amazing.
October 2020, River had a brain tumor removed. And now he thinks he's invincible and he has a god complex and he lives life like there's no tomorrow.
He does. He really, really does.
He's my inner child in the
That's
flesh.
oh,
Like, loud, creative, crazy, do whatever you want, not give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like, and I just let his little freak flag fly. I just let him.
thank you so much for sharing that story. Like that is so much to like overcome and go through, and I mean sharing your intrusive thoughts of the cliff
Yeah.
jumping and whatnot. I mean, I know we giggle about that. Like we giggle about it because we know it's an intrusive thought and it's not something
You're
we
not
would
supposed
act
to say
on.
those out loud.
Whoops. Anyways, so Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you feel safe to share that with us. So, thank you.
Absolutely. So,
Like, that is amazing.
kind of crazy. Fast forward to this year, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird how this all comes full circle. Fast forward to July of this year.
Yes.
We're at my in-laws' house because our AC was broken.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up at the ranch, we're hanging out, and
Mm-hmm.
Jordan tells me that he had to recently take a class and read an article about this chemical in their turnout gear called PFOS, PFOS.
Okay.
Telling me about it and telling me how this fire wife whose husband was retired and then got cancer took a portion of his turnout gear and was like getting it tested for chemicals and stuff because he had gotten cancer, and
Yeah.
they ended up like stopping testing in the middle of it and like putting on like full PPE and like hazmat and
Oh my
everything
God.
because the amount of like parts per million of like this certain chemical they found in the turnout gear was like lethal.
So could that have caused it?
So, unbeknownst to me, he had just told me this the day before I had asked the Dear Chiefs podcast girls, like, hey, do you guys know anything about
Mm-hmm.
PFOS? Because I had seen
Mm-hmm.
Flame Decon post about it. Flame Decon is a small business who makes all natural soaps for firefighters that remove most of the chemicals and toxins from their skin and their clothing and turnout gear that like come from like the smoke and like carcinogens and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Love them. They're awesome. They have a whole highlight reel on their Instagram about PFAS. So I was telling Jordan about it, like,
Oh.
hey, did you hear about this fire wife, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I think it's the same fire wife that I just told you about in the article I read. Message Dear
Oh.
Chiefs. They were interviewing said fire wife who wrote the article the following
That
day.
makes the soaps. That makes the
No, the
soaps.
one who got her husband's turnout gear tested.
Oh,
Who
go
wrote the
tested.
article
Oh
that
my
Jordan
gosh.
read the
Yeah.
week before
Okay.
in a
Yeah. Yeah. I'm caught
class?
up.
They were interviewing her the next
Oh, this.
day.
That's insane.
D. Cotter. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm reading her article, looking into this a little bit more, and Jordan looks at me and he goes, why did I have the weirdest suspicion that River's tumor might have been caused from me? He goes, how many times have you guys been to my new stations and tried on my turnout gear, put my helmet on? Turnout gear comes
Oh,
home
both of
because I
you.
have to move. We're moving, so I have to bring my strike bags home. Like,
Yes.
he goes,
Oh my
how
gosh.
many times have I put you guys in harm's way? And I was like, it,
Oh,
it's okay.
Jordan.
It's okay. I was like,
It's
we
okay.
didn't know. I said, your job is supposed to protect you.
Yeah. Your job is should have known that.
So we are considering getting Jordan tested because you can get tested for it.
Oh. Okay.
So I think the Red Cross has certain blood donation centers that you can,
Okay.
words are hard, that you can get tested. So we may look into that. And if he has it, we're going to get the rest of us tested.
There you go. I think that's a good idea.
And if that's the case, motherfuckers better lawyer up. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of, sort of, not really.
There's got to be, I mean, you could probably Google, there's probably a settlement lawsuit or something, a case already open, class action lawsuit or something open.
Yeah, this is the same union, though, that won't replace their firefighters' CO tanks at their station that are expired. Thank you, government. Have a nice day.
That's okay. They're just funding all that. They're just funding all of the weapons. They don't want to save the firefighters. The firefighters save the people. The government wants to kill all the people.
They've been trying to get turnout gear with like different like chemical makeups and things like that in it for so long. Like, the union needs to do a better job. I know that nobody important from the fire industry is listening. I am totally just venting, but like, we need to do better. Like, the rate of firefighters getting cancer is stupid.
We just build our own neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Jordan wanted to burn the house down the other day and go and buy 200 acres in Arizona.
Where? Oh,
But there's a pond and a creek on it.
okay, where?
In Arizona.
Link it to me.
Oh, okay. I'll have to send it to you.
I'll send it to
the golden retriever.
the other. Yeah. God, that's so funny. So what do you want to do? Well, that was amazing. Sorry we made y'all cry, but
I got high enough.
I can't wait to come to Arizona even more.
Yeah, if anybody's ever met
I
River,
want to meet the kid that walks on water. I mean, I've talked to him on FaceTime multiple times, but
dude, the kid is a ham. Like,
yeah,
just
it's Hudson on sugar.
Just the things he says, like, oh my god. Okay, content warning, y'all. This is so inappropriate. So we're playing on the bed the other day. Jordan and him are wrestling around. Jordan throws him on the bed and he like falls backwards. And as he's falling backwards, the cat jumps on the bed. And of course, you know, cats, they all stick their ass right in your face. So River's like half laying, laughing, trying to like get up. And the cat's ass is in his face. And he sits up and he looks at me and he goes, "Mom, I'm sorry to say, but I probably was staring at Percy's butthole longer than I should have." And you ever noticed that his butthole kind of looks like a little mini scrunchie? It's like a little tiny scrunchie.
Little booty scrunchie.
Jordan's like, well, I guess it gives a whole new term to the word scrunchy butt.
Scrunch butt.
No longer are they leggings.
No longer leggings. Now it's just cat booties.
Cat scrunchy butt.
Cat booty holes. Oh, that's a topic. Anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, crazy.
Oh, River.
People.
You cat people are weird.
We are weird.
You're odd. You talk about your cats too much.
Talk about our pussies too much?
I was gonna say that, and I was like, "Wait, we're on our podcast, not on FaceTime, but whatever."
There's an explicit warning on here.
We good. Yeah. Like, so what are? Ouch. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say what your kid's dressing up for Halloween, but Halloween will be over by the time this comes out. Well,
oh man, I don't even know how to like do a segue out of that. Like that was like so like.
Neither do I. That was intense, and I appreciate. Like, yeah, thanks for sharing that. We got to know you more. Explains why you and Jordan are so close. River's just River.
Yeah, and you guys have heard me say it 1,000 times. River is my spirit animal. Like I was always told, you're too much. You need to be quiet. Like deal with your feelings. Like you're crazy. You're over dramatic. Like I was always told all the things.
Overreacting.
Yeah, overreacting. And River, like he is me. I am him. So I just parent him how I wish I would have been parented. No shame against my parents at all, because like obviously we're all trying to break our own parents' generational curses and like redo the things that like they jacked us up with.
Yeah,
it's like no shame on my parents, but like I'm trying to be the parent I needed.
We all are doing different things. Yeah, we're the adult we needed. You're the adult you needed at this age.
Fuck, they feel beat up.
Like, and that's what I just like feel like when Hudson's having big emotions, I like retrace my steps, or how did I come in the room, or vice versa, you know? And it's all just like learning to let them be them, because in reality, it makes them happy too. Like when Hudson comes home from school, I can tell that he like held in a lot of stuff, because he'll go up to his room and like the weirdest noises are coming from upstairs. Like he's just being him. but he's being loud and he's making all the weird noises that he wanted to make at school today but couldn't, or whatever it might be. And I used to shush him, like, come on, buddy, like, really? But then I'm like, wait, whatever, just let it out.
I go into another room or I go outside or something.
Yeah, or I'll,
take myself out.
put headphones in or something, because then it's just, I'm like, he needs to get it out or it's going to get stuck, you know?
River is
I'll get frustrated.
really big cuddling stage. Like, he goes through
Hudson is going through the same.
but like right now it's like big time cuddling, like on Jordan on the couch, me when I'm in my bed, like comes in from school, like wants to lay on me, like cuddle with all the animals. And I'm just like, I will take this because Race wants nothing to do with me.
Oh, yeah, Hudson's in a cuddling phase too, which I'm enjoying because he hasn't been since he was really little.
I just needed to get colder here, so it's like actual cuddle weather.
I just need a better couch.
It's 84 outside. Oh, hey, have you seen all those TikToks about the fucking $200 Amazon couch? You should look that up. There's a $200 Amazon couch right now.
I don't know if I have to.
Yeah, you should. $200 Amazon couch. If I can find it, I'll put it in the show notes.
Anyways, well, this was a fun episode. I enjoyed hearing your story.
Thanks.
For the first time I've said that. Should we close out?
Yeah.
I need to pack another bowl. Deedly deedly dee. What are you doing for dinner tonight?
Jordan got paid. Thanks, babe. So probably eat out. We've been cooking at home a lot. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me till Sunday.
Yeah.
Today's Thursday. I don't know what fucking day it is.
Should we ask River if he has any closing remarks for anybody?
Yeah, we should. I'd love to hear some from him.
Yeah. So, what's up, River? How are ya?
River, can you tell everybody how old you are now? 9. When's your birthday?
9.
In what month? July. Yep.
July
2014.
It's a good thing you don't know your social security number.
Yep.
No, you don't, because I don't even know it.
No, you don't. Well, your mom just told me about an experience that you had and a little tumor friend you had. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Do you remember what we named your tumor? You don't remember? So this was a while ago, so it's hard for him to recall because he was younger. But when he was little, he wanted to name his tumor. So its name was, wait for it, little e, tumor whale.
So they got me a tumor whale.
So when he got his tumor removed, I bought him a little stuffed animal brain, and it looks like a whale. It's like an anatomically correct brain with like the stem and everything, and it looks like a whale.
That's super cool. So do you remember anything about being in the hospital or having any of your seizures or anything like that? No?
You don't remember any of your seizures?
Interesting.
Do you remember any of the machines and all the big tests that you had to get done?
COVID.
During COVID? You remember getting all your COVID tests done? Do you remember how many COVID tests you had to do?
Like a million.
Like a million.
Like a million. Oh, buddy.
Yep. That was before they could do the mouth one. So it was nose and mouth.
Oh, and it feels like it's like scratching your eyeballs.
Yeah, nose, and they did your mouth too, huh? No? I thought they did your mouth also.
Just nose.
Do you remember being in the hospital?
No.
And afterwards and walking? You do?
I can pick up more than 60 pounds.
60?
Yeah.
6.
6 pounds?
6 pounds.
6 pounds.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You couldn't pick up more than 6.
Do do you have a scar, or can you feel where you
I
had
have
surgery?
a bald spot on my head somewhere.
You have a bald spot on your
You
head
have a bald
somewhere.
spot?
That's right.
Like where a scar is?
You almost can't see it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, didn't even
Can't
see
even see
it.
it.
You have a beautiful head of hair.
Have you had any seizures since you got your tumor removed? Nope. Are you still on medicine?
Nice job.
Nope.
Good job. You're a cool little kid.
What was this?
What do you like to do?
What do you like to do now? Say it.
Swim.
Swim.
You like to swim, like being in the pool? Good.
It's like nothing ever happened now, huh?
What else?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
What was the scariest part about all of that? Do you remember?
Taking it out.
Taking it out. But your doctors were all super cool. Huh. That was quick and easy?
Not for Daddy.
Not for Daddy. Why not?
We had to wait 3 hours.
3 hours. 6.
6 hours?
That's-
6.
What?
That's how long your surgery was.
And it only felt like a minute for me.
Only felt like a minute for you. Yep. I know how that feels.
A minute. Thanks for coming on and sharing your experience of everything that you guys
Thanks for
went through.
letting me share too. Is there anything else you want to add or tell anybody? Anything you want to share? Mr. I want to start a YouTube channel. It's your 5 minutes of fame. What would you like to tell everybody?
You're a brave little kid, you know that? Been through a lot. Overcome a lot.
Never give up on your dreams. It's a good
Okay.
message. Were you afraid
Sounds
you're going to
good.
cry while you say
Good
it?
job, buddy.
You just didn't want to say it? Okay.
Why?
Because we're
You
River.
should. Yeah. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
What do you say? That's all she wrote. High five.
That's it.
Thank you.
Snack
Snack
time.
I got you.
All right. Well,
I guess I should pack.
thanks for hanging out in the greenhouse today, weirdos. Oh, you need to pack a bowl.
Oh, I still have some left from the last one. Yeah. Appreciate you
Sweet.
guys.
Reach out if you have a similar story or if you've been through something with a relative or whatnot. We'd love to hear from y'all too. I enjoyed reading people's ghost stories, and it sounds like other people enjoyed it too. So I think we should do something like that monthly. We'd love to read your guys' emails and feedback and stuff like that. So send them in to us, and yeah, maybe we'll read emails on an episode or something.
Yeah, you know what we could also do is we had a couple of people ask if they could still send us stories. We could even start doing like read a story an episode too. So if you guys want to keep
Yeah,
sending us your
too.
stories, I know Kerr said she had a couple. We're getting some really awesome feedback from all of you really loving
everyone.
these stories. I was really surprised. It's a long one too.
Mhm.
Everyone's really, really loving it. So
Thank you.
yeah,
everybody.
I love reading your guys' stories.
We enjoy it. So thanks for hanging out in the greenhouse today. Have a great week and cheers.
Jumanji. Don't forget to log on, order Lexibles before they are gone. They will be discontinued, ending, coming to a close. Final call, December 31st. So make sure you guys stock up. Make sure you guys get the subscription boxes for the next couple of months.
Yep. It's because once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. If you guys have
We're
anything,
retiring Lexibles.
it's been a great run. And
it has. I've enjoyed all of it.
It's not for anything bad. It's just to grow.
Moving on. Yep. Just to grow and expand and move on to the next opportunity. So I'm really thankful for all the small businesses I was able to work with through sub boxes and all the people I've been able to help. So go check out those links, and thanks for hanging out, and we'll chat with y'all next week.
Sounds good.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye, weirdos.
Bye.